I started without having touched a single line of code. Now I've released 2 games with over 3000 views in total. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear direction on how to start learning to code for game development, while avoiding the most common mistakes that beginners make. Now, I just want to start the video off by saying that you don't need to be a genius to start coding. Let's just throw that belief away straight away, so you don't watch this video like having that stupid belief. I'm not a genius, I'm not an engineer, I'm not some software engineer, I didn't study this in university. Like, I was literally 13 when I started coding. I'm not a genius, and I've released 2 games with thousands of views on itch.io, soon to release on Apple. Like, I don't have any formal training, and my IQ is probably not 200. Let's just be honest. But it doesn't need to be to start coding. So if you actually believe that, when you start coding, you'll understand that you really don't need to be a genius to actually start. But coding, it can be hard. Like, if you want to master it, then it's actually very hard, because mastering code and like mastering programming, that's like a very hard thing to do. Like, you can imagine trying to master English, like saying everything perfect with the perfect accent, you write perfect, you speak perfect, like everything in your English is perfect. That's very hard. But learning English just conversationally and writing, like most people do, like at most people's skill level, that's actually not that hard. They are 2 completely different things, like mastering English and just learning enough to actually speak and write. And the same applies to coding. We can start learning to code and like learn enough to actually start making games quite easily actually, but mastering it, that's the hard part. Just as an example, inside of Smart Indie, my students literally get an overview, like a solid overview of coding within like a few hours. That's all it takes. Within a few hours, you can basically understand like core game engine concepts and core scripting concepts. And they even start experimenting and like doing their own experiments within only 1 to 2 days. That's where you actually can start writing your own code that kind of does something. Like it's not a game, but it actually does something. You can get to that level within only 1 or 2 days without knowing anything, if you have a clear direction, obviously. Now we have debunked both of the things like quite early. I think that's important that we do. But how do we actually start learning? Like, what's the practical, like step-by-step direction on how to start learning to code? And it's actually quite easy. We just need to get a little overview, like watch a video about a overview in our programming language, and then we just start doing experiments. And then we search up things that we don't know. Like, we don't need to make this process any harder than it really is. It's not that hard, really. So, if you haven't already, you need to choose a game engine. That can be, for example, Unity, it can be Godot, it can be Unreal Engine, whatever it might be. If you haven't found it already, then you can like do some research. Don't overthink it. Like, you'll basically be able to do the same things either way if you choose Unity or Unreal or Godot. Basically the same thing, you just do it in a different way, basically. And the programming languages are different. So you can think of it like Spanish and English. Like, they both have their benefits and flaws, but they can do the same thing. You can talk, you can write, like you can do the same things in both of them. They're just different. So don't overcomplicate it. That's what I also tell my students inside of Smart Indie. I basically have like a game engine selection guide, and I just emphasize that there's a few like important things that you have to think about when you're choosing your game engine. But like in general, shouldn't overthink it. Like, there are basically just a few situations where one game engine makes sense over another. And that's what I talk about briefly inside of Smart Indie, where we don't overcomplicate things, we just choose a game engine and we move on, basically. That's what I recommend for you as well. And this is important because the game engine, it determines the programming language. Each of like the main 3 that I said, Godot, Unreal and Unity, they all have different programming languages. So one is, for example, Spanish, one is English, one is French, for example. Like, they're kind of the same thing, but they're different also. And also some of them are easier than others. Like Godot, for example, you can probably say that's Spanish. And Unity, you can say that's English. And Unreal Engine, you can say that's French, because like, based on the difficulty, Unreal is the hardest. So when we've chosen our game engine, which also determines the programming language that we need to learn, we're going to watch an introduction video on YouTube or on like official resources by Unity or Unreal or Godot. I don't know if they have it, but at least you can use official resources, you can use courses, you can use YouTube, whatever you find the best. And then you just watch an introduction on that specific programming language, and preferably an introduction on the programming language for that game engine specifically. So for Unity, that would be C# tutorial for Unity, like specifically for beginners, obviously. And I don't recommend that you just watch it and you just follow along. It's not what I recommend, because that's not really how we learn. When we're actually going to watch a video like this, which is critical when we are learning for the first time, because you don't know how to do anything, you don't know how to experiment, you don't know how to like think critically or even think in programming like in general. So that's why a introduction video, that's critical, but I usually don't recommend that. But when we are in our beginner stages, then watching a video like that is critical, because we don't have any other options basically. Or you could read, but I don't think that's beneficial. We don't need to make it more complicated than it is. Okay, back to the point. What we should do is that we should actively take notes. We should pause the video if we want to think, if we want to experiment something. Then we pause the video, we take some notes, and we try like changing things or even predicting what the tutorial video is going to show next. Like just trying to be as curious as possible. Because when we are studying like in this way, where we're just following along with the guy on YouTube, then we need to kind of act like curious, because you can just watch it, open your eyes and watch it and type it on your screen like you're a zombie, because you aren't using your brain. You could probably use that. You could probably do that with 10% of your brain, like your mom could do it. Like it's so easy just following along. But you aren't going to remember anything if you just follow along. Like you might think it's productive because you're actually writing it in your own screen, because most tutorials, they are follow along, where you kind of just follow the same things that the person doing the tutorial is writing. So you kind of follow along, it feels productive, but it's really not, because you're just going to forget it in like 60 minutes or maybe faster even. So that's why we do like the studying techniques that you probably did in school, where we actively take notes, we're curious, we pause the video if you need to, and we play back things if we didn't quite understand it. And just do these things. Take it very slowly, don't rush the video, just take it slowly and try to do some research on your own. You can even like search up the things that the guy are explaining. You can even search that up on Google, so you kind of get a better understanding of it, or get like explained in a different way what it does, instead of just having one explanation. So just do all these different things. Don't just watch the tutorial, try to do basically everything else and watch it. Have it like as a guide, like now we're going to learn this and then we're going to learn that in the end. That's the result we're going to achieve. Just have it as a guide, but try to do as many things while watching it as possible, like taking notes, researching, all these things we talked about, right? So for example, if the video is like 2 hours long, it shouldn't take 2 hours. Maybe it should take like 5 hours with all the researching and stuff you do. And after that, maybe you watched a few hours of introduction material and you kind of feel confident. Not that you can build a game obviously, but that you can actually do something. Like you should have at least like 3 things that you can do in the game engine. So that can be, for example, make a button. It can be, for example, move a player even, if you're that advanced. Or it can be like spawn a game object. Like it should be like 3 different small things that you can do around that, and you should be confident in that, and you shouldn't require any external resources to do them. That's basically all you need. Like basically just 3 things that you can do. No more complicated than that. Just 3 things that you know you can do. With those 3 things, we're going to start experimenting. So you're going to open the game engine, try to combine the things that you know, and try to just make an experiment. Try to make something happen. Just as we talked about before, be as curious as possible. Always think, what's going to happen when I do this? What's going to happen when I do that? What's going to happen if I change this? If I move this? If I rotate this? If I add this component? Like, just be as curious as possible. The goal here isn't to make an experience, it's just to experiment, see what happens when you do different things. So that's what we're going to do. Experiment with the things you're already comfortable with and just try to do something around that. So just do that for a while, just be as curious as possible, try to do something. And at this point, don't use any external resources like tutorials or like a course, don't follow along anything. Just experiment with your own, try to use your brain, try to think, try to be creative. That's the point here. Once we have done that, then we can move on to the next little step, like immediately when you start being comfortable with or bored of just experimenting with things like that are very simple, then we can actually start being more creative and we can actually try to search up the implementations about things that we want to do. Let's say, for example, that you're able to spawn a game object and you're able to change its color, but you really want it to move, like you want a movement system. What we're then going to do is that we're going to search for how to move a game object in your game engine, like in Unity, for example. But instead of watching a tutorial for that, we're going to just Google it and we're going to try to read documentation, read a question on Stack Overflow, on Quora, or on Reddit, for example. We're going to read posts just like that because they are very hard, like they don't tell you specifically what you're going to do. Or AI, don't use AI at this step either. Like they don't tell you like step by step what to do, but they give you a solution. So you kind of have to think and find out how you're going to implement that solution and turn that solution into the result that you actually want. It's very important that you use the skills that you already have. Like you can spawn the player, you can change his color, you can do all these things. So do those things that you already can. Don't search for implementations on those things, because if you do them repeatedly and over again, they're going to sit much tighter and you'll remember it better in your brain. So use the things that you already know and then implement the solution that you found on Google into your own code. So try to experiment about how to implement that movement system that you search for example, into your own system. And the more specific things that you search for, the better. So instead of searching, for example, how to make a player movement script, you can search for how to move the player, how to rotate the player, like just breaking them into different steps, like be as specific as possible. Because you probably have some things like within the player movement script that you can actually do already. And that's where we need to use our own brain again, like I said so many times. And we actually need to use the things that we already know. Try to only search for things that you don't know. Like the things that you search for, they should be like completely foreign to you. And things that you actually needed to search for. So just do that. Again, try to be as curious as possible here. Just get more and more comfortable with experimenting and just search for these implementations. Just do that and you learn so much. That's how you learn coding. And as you build, you just get more and more knowledge in general. And in the start, you might not learn that fast, but as you learn more things, you'll actually learn faster. Because in game development, studying and watching the tutorial, like you did in the introduction, that's not the most effective way to learn. And when you're more advanced, then it can even hurt your progress because you use so much time on actually watching these instead of experimenting and building your own things. But it's actually easier to experiment when you have more knowledge, because you can try to experiment with your own knowledge and try to combine them or change it. So experiments are easier. That means you can build more stuff, and that also means obviously that you can, as you said, can learn more things. So that's awesome. Now we made some basic experiments, but now keep in mind when you continue making these experiments, try to make them like a little bigger and bigger for every time. Follow the blueprint and the steps and the tips that I gave you in the beginning, and try to keep like the experiments around one level above your comfort zone. So you should know like roughly 80% about the experiment, and then you should learn the 20% of the rest. And you can even learn that by trying yourself, like experimenting and trying to just guess basically and find a solution, or you can search for it on Google. Like both are effective. But the 80% that you already know, those things you should just do yourself. Don't search for those, even though they might not be like at the top of your brain. Try to think, just get them out and actually do the things that you are able to do, and the things that you are like not physically able to do, you can search for it. And all of this is because our brain learns when things are actually hard. Studying and watching tutorials, that's actually easy. Whilst building and experimenting, that's the hard things. We're constantly using the knowledge that we already have in our own experiments, and no one is holding our hands through the entire process. And this is a mistake that so many developers make. That's why there's so many beginner game developers, but so few intermediates or advanced. Because a lot of people, they get stuck in this specific thing. They get way too comfortable with someone holding their hand through everything that they do. They're not comfortable being on their own, they're not comfortable doing the hard things like we talked about, which is experimenting. And that's good for the YouTubers too, because they get retention, they get clicks, they get views. But if you start building on your own, then the YouTubers won't get the clicks and won't get the retention, their profit simply goes away. That's why most YouTubers, they don't tell you to do these things, they don't tell you to start building. They just make tutorials and they just want you to continuously follow them and be in this so-called tutorial hell. That's the phrase for it. Yeah, it even has a phrase, tutorial hell. You can search it up even, it's like a known topic within coding and game development. But I promise you, it's going to be very, very hard for you to actually do the hard things instead of the easy things, because that's not how our brain works. It doesn't want the hard things, it doesn't want to do the hard things, even when we know it's beneficial in our like prefrontal cortex, whatever. Even when we know that, our caveman brain, it doesn't want to do the hard things. It just wants the easy result that feels productive, which is watching tutorials, searching for the implementations, always using AI, all these things that are so easy. It doesn't want the hard things. I went through this long process and I learned the hard way. I realized that when I stopped watching tutorials, I got so much better in coding and in game development that's where I finally released my first game. I didn't release my first game when I was just watching these tutorials all the time. I didn't even make progress, I didn't even learn something new, but my brain, it didn't realize that I was not making any progress. It didn't realize it because it felt so productive. And that's exactly why I made Smart Indie. It gives you a clear path on how to avoid this tutorial hell. It avoids the overwhelm, and it's seriously the most effective way to become a real game developer that releases games. Not a game developer that makes prototypes or experiments or watches tutorials. Instead, Smart Indie is the blueprint that quickly takes you from complete beginner to someone that actually releases the game. You go from an idea to a fully released game within only 60 days. And that's a milestone that seriously takes months or even years for people that are stuck in tutorial hell to actually accomplish. They aren't learning anything and they aren't actually improving their skills, they're just in this loop of watching tutorials. But that's what we prevent inside Smart Indie. It's everything I wish I had when I got started. If I had, I would save so much time, you have no idea. But that's why I made it for you. So click the first link in the description and I'll see you there.